Hello everyone, this is Robert from Book of Mormon Editions, where we discuss printings, publications, and various editions of the Book of Mormon. I'm always impressed with third-party printing editions, just because I'm as interested in why a Book of Mormon is printed as much as I am on how. This next edition of the Book of Mormon has an interesting third-party story. This is the Skylight Illuminations edition of the Book of Mormon, a softcover book printed in 2005. Skylight Illuminations is a printing division within Skylight Path Publishing, a printer that focuses on printing all sorts of spiritually focused books. Their website mission statement says that they encourage spiritual growth and publish material to inspire thought and reflection. Their website posts this edition as well as other various spiritual books, from Christianity to Eastern religions to everything in between. It also seems that instead of publishing the whole text, these editions are often condensed down to significant selections and excerpts. This is the case with this Book of Mormon. However, despite it being an excerpt edition, I think it's worthy for a review for two reasons. First, that it's part of a religious series from a third-party publisher, and second, that the printed portions of the book and why they're included are noteworthy. So the cover lists a foreword by Phyllis Tickle and annotation by Jana Reese. Phyllis Tickle was an author and professor of all things spiritual. She was noted as a contributor to publications and media and was recognized as a source of spiritual and religious quotes and wisdom. Ms. Tickle passed away in 2015, and her foreword in this edition is well-rounded, where she acknowledges that even though she's not a part of the Book of Mormon movement, it's still a significant part of American influence and history. She also recognizes that Jana Reese had a difficult task in reducing the text of the Book of Mormon down to fit this printing. Jana Reese is an author and professional editor and is a convert to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Her introduction goes through detail of her conversion and discusses how she had to review the text to fit the format of the Skylight Illumination series. In so doing, Ms. Reese states that about a tenth of the Book of Mormon text is in this printing. However, she focuses on the spiritual aspects of the edition and some historical context. For example, the excerpts for 1 Nephi consists of Nephi's background in the first two chapters, the Tree of Life story in the interpretation chapters, and the family building the ship for the Promised Land. The second book of Nephi skips the Isaiah chapters but includes Nephi's personal comments. So such is the case with this edition. There's literally no book of Helaman and no story of the Jaredites in the book of Ether. However, if there was a list of excerpts on what's important, it is here, and I don't mean to make light of what was omitted or kept. What is included is just as important, and it includes an allegory of the olive tree, the message of King Benjamin, the missionary work in the book of Alma, and most importantly, the visitation of Jesus Christ to the people of America. It finalizes with the admonitions of Mormon and Moroni. So the printing format of this edition is interesting also. On the right side are the excerpt text, and on the left side are annotations, comments, and notes from Jana Reese. This assists the reader to understand context and background regarding what's read. I reached out to Jana, and she said that she was honored to be part of the Skylight Illuminations printing. I thought amusing when she mentioned that those that read this book had positive feedback, but some bookstores that normally distribute other Skylight Illumination texts had reservations about stocking this printing, as it portrayed the Book of Mormon and its adherents in a positive light. I guess that's why this was published in the first place, to help outsiders have a little taste of a sacred text without immersing or drowning in it. In the back of this printing is a few pages of other spiritual books that are published under the Skylight Illumination format, and I thought it was noble for them to include this excerpt edition of the Book of Mormon in their series. Jana Reese has a personal website where she showcases and blogs about the book she's authored. She mentioned that she has this Book of Mormon edition at a discount through contacting her personally, and I'll refer you to look at her website for more details. So I'm impressed in a third-party publisher printing of the Book of Mormon as an inclusion to a set of spiritual books from outsiders. I'm also reminded that whether or not you're a believer in all things Book of Mormon, we still have to acknowledge that this is a spiritual source text, worthy of being included in other sacred texts of the world. Thanks everyone for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe and tell others about the series. If you have a special or unique edition of the Book of Mormon that you'd like reviewed on this series, please contact me at bomeditions@gmail.com. Thanks everyone.